Okay, now we're gonna talk about the tools. We're gonna start with the most important tools for mixing, which is the equalizer. For the equalizer, there are different types of equalizers. There are digital clean equalizers. There are analog modeling equalizers, which normally adds character. They also have some saturation effect sometimes. And there are MS equalizer, where you can process the mid and the side signal separately. Personally, I don't use the mid-side equalizers much in the mixing stage. I use mid-side EQ a lot in mastering process, but not in the mixing stage. But do what works for you. There are definitely some things where you can use the mid-side processing, for example, to mono out a bass line, where you can use the side signal with a low cut at a certain frequency range. Now I'm going to show you how you typically use the equalizer in the signal chain. First of all, what you're going to do is I'm going to use it in the master channel here. First of all, what you're going to do is you take a clear sounding equalizer, something like a Waves Q10. And what you're gonna do, you use this equalizer just to clean the signal. For example, you apply a low cut here with this equalizer. Then you look for harsh frequencies, maybe here, and then notch them a little bit out to make it a little bit smoother. That's first the concept of cleaning a signal and taking things out. And after you take things out and the signal sounds better, you can use an analog sounding equalizer, something like, for example, the Renaissance equalizer from Waves here, or I have some equalizers from Acustica Audio, something like this, an analog modeling equalizer, where you add certain frequency ranges. Most of the time it's enough if you just use a high shelf and add high frequency with a high shelf equalizer. And with this way you can get really nice results if you first use a clean sounding equalizer where you just remove stuff, and then you take an analog modeling equalizer where you add stuff. Then I'm also going to show you how you mono out a bassline, for example. If you have a stereo bassline and you want everything below, let's say 200 Hz in mono, then you take an MS EQ, something like a FabFilter Pro Q, or personally I prefer from Brainworks Digital V3, where here I have the mono section, here I have the side section, and this equalizer already have a mono maker. You'd simply just turn this knob here. Now from 200 Hz downwards everything is mono. Or what you can also do, that's the same way how you would do it with a normal MSEQ, if you apply the low cut on the side signal and move it around. Personally, the best results regarding the phase you get when you use a 12 dB per octave slope, because then the phase is very clean. And typically I use a low cut around, let's say 200 Hz on the side signal. And sometimes also there is not much side signal in the low end. It still makes the bass a little bit more present and a little bit more solid. So I would advise you to use it on your bass lines. I use it always as the first slot in the signal chain after I continue with other processing, because it simply doesn't make any sense to first process your bassline in a nice way and at the end mono it out, because it can change the signal in a drastic way. So always use it as the first slot. And what you also can do, of course, you can use the MS EQ on lead sounds who have stereo information to enhance also on the side signal the stereo information. Easy would be just to use a high shelf and apply some high shelf to the side signal. You can go pretty low to around 2 kilohertz or 3 kilohertz. Now you hear how the side signal gets increased. And yeah, that's the only thing where I use MS EQ.